talk to you about home parties today. So I love doing home parties. And the funny thing is that it is not something that I ever thought I would do. I started off doing Jamberry, and just basically doing everything online. And it was about 4 months before I did my first home party. And then once I did a few, I fell in love with them. So now I do about half and half online and half in-home. What I love the best about the home parties is that you actually get to have the interaction with the guests and with your hostess. You actually get to show them how to put the product on, how it works. And I've actually had a lot of people tell me that they had attended an online party before, but they didn't really understand what was going on and couldn't really figure out how to put the wraps on. Even though the consultant may have been super helpful, there's just something about doing it in person where they can actually see you do it and you be right there with them that makes a huge difference. So it's that making that personal connection with your customers and with your hostesses, because those are going to be your future hostesses and your future team members. So basically there are 4 parts to a home party. The first is the sort of meet and greet where the guests are arriving and you want to get to know them. You want to take the initiative. If your hostess is busy getting stuff ready, setting up the table or something, answer the door for her. When they come in, introduce yourself. You are the Jamberry lady. Hi, I am Verena Jones. It is so nice to meet you. What's your name? How do you know Sally, our hostess? I am so happy that you made it here today and I can't wait to share my love of Jamberry with you. Ask a little bit about their life, where they're from, things like that. So you want to try to make that personal connection and see if you can remember those things a little bit later on when you go back to talk to them. The next thing after the meet and greet is basically your opening talk. And I'm going to show you a little bit later in this video how I set up the different areas of my home party, which is there's one section during the initial opening talk where I have the catalogs and some of the products and things like that laid out. But during the opening talk, you basically don't want to have that be too long. You don't want to go on and on for 20, 30 minutes. Nobody came here to, look at you and watch you talk for that long. They want to know about Jamberry and they want to put these nail wraps that they've been hearing so much about. They want to put them on and have a good experience with them. But you do want to give them some information. And one of the most important things to do while you are talking to everybody is you want to start planting seeds. And what I mean by planting seeds is you want to start getting some ideas in their heads about when they would like to host their parties, and that maybe this might be a job that they might want to do. They might see how much fun that you're having and then decide that they want to join your team. So for an opening talk, I'll kind of give you a little example of some of the things that I might say and see how it goes from there. I first start off by thanking my hostess because she has opened her home. So I might start off by something like this. Once the hostess sort of tells you that she's ready to go and the guests are here. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming to Sally's Jamberry party tonight. I am so excited to be sharing these products with you, and I am so thankful to all of you for taking time out of your busy day and busy lives to get together here with us. So what I would like to do is to start off by everybody, just if we could all just go around, say our names, how we know Sally, and something that you love about her. And that part usually gets people talking and laughing and getting to know each other. So that's a really great thing to do. So then everybody goes around and then you can start off if you like, or you can do yours at the end and you can say how you know the hostess and something that you love about her. Okay? So after that, then I usually talk a little bit about Jamberry and why I joined and why I love the products. So I might say something along the lines of, well, as you all know, I am Verena Jones and I am now your Jamberry lady. I am your Jamberry Nails girl and I am so excited to be that for you. I started doing Jamberry, it's been about 1.5 years now. I joined in April of 2014. And it's kind of funny that I'm even doing this business because direct sales is not something that I ever even thought I would do. But I came across Jamberry through a friend, and initially I didn't even have any interest in it because, you know what, I never painted my nails. I didn't take care of my nails. Want to know why? Why don't we paint our nails? Who can tell me? Yes, they chip, they smudge, they peel, they fade, and then you have like an ugly mess of stuff on your hands. So I never even bothered. So a friend of mine started selling them, and then eventually I was like, I think I might give these things a try. And then when I did, I was just blown away. And I still didn't even think about joining. But I kept using the product, and a lot of my friends were commenting on my nails, and I really liked that. It made me feel good. Doesn't it feel good when you get a compliment? Absolutely. So I decided, I think it might be fun to try to sell these things. We were actually getting ready to move from North Carolina to very northern New York, which is a big move. And I also thought it would be a good way for me to make some new friends when we moved, and also to keep in touch with some of my friends back home. So I did it. I took the leap, and I have loved every minute of it ever since. And if this sounds like something that you might be interested in doing as well, I would love to talk with you about it. So a little bit about Jamberry itself. The company was founded back in 2010, so we are still a really new company, and it was founded by 3 sisters, and I really personally connected with this story. It's something that really kind of spoke to me. I love the fact that they have such a special bond between them, the 3 sisters. I have a sister myself, so that is something that I have a connection with. Well, the 3 of them, they would always love to go to the salon and get their nails done, but it's always a lot of money, and then they're having to find babysitters and things like that. So one of the sisters had a similar kind of wrap product applied to her nails at a salon, and she came home, told her sisters about it, and they thought, we have got to find a way to do this at home. There's got to be a similar kind of product. So they did some research and found that there was actually not a product that was available to the general public. Well, it just so turns out that one of the sisters' husbands has a background in vinyl, which is, of course, what our nail wraps are made of. They are vinyl adhesive. So he had a ski manufacturing company, and what they did is they would print out the logos of the ski company on vinyl. So they had a vinyl machine cutter thingy at their home, and he was like, I think we could make these. And that's exactly what they did. And I think it's just a really cool story. They basically started off in their, basement or garage, and they have really grown from there. So Jamberry started doing direct sales in 2011. And from there, it has just continued to grow and expand every year. And I'm so excited to be part of this company from almost at the beginning. So it's a pretty cool thing. So the nail wraps themselves, they are, like I said, they are made of a vinyl-based adhesive. They are applied with heat and pressure. So we have an awesome mini heater that we use to put them on. We also have an application kit with some great tools that you can use to apply them. But they will last, and your nails will be gorgeous for up to 2 weeks on your fingers, and on your toes, ladies, they will last for 6 or 7 weeks, which is pretty awesome. So this is a great product. In addition to the nail wraps, which is the main thing, we have we have over 300 designs. Let me tell you about those first. So we have everything that you can imagine, from wild and crazy patterns to solids, French tips. We have sparkling things. We've got sports and hobbies, all kinds of stuff, something to suit your mood or style or whatever. There will be something for you. We also have a Jamberry Juniors for the girls in your life. And I think that's it about the wraps. On the table there, you'll see that we've got a couple of examples of what a full sheet looks like and what a junior sheet looks like, and I'll talk about those in a little bit. We also have a few other products to complement the nail wraps. As I was saying, we have the heater, the application kit. We also have some other things like our nail prep cleanser. We have our lacquer and wrap remover, which helps to remove them. In addition to the nail wraps, we also have a complete line of professional nail lacquer. We also have a brand new gel nail system called True Shine. It is amazing. I was able to get it early at conference, and I absolutely love it. So it is really great. You can use it by itself or in conjunction with the nail wraps and lacquers. They can go under or over it. So there's so many choices available. We also have a hand and nail care set, a hand care line we have a lotion and like a sugar scrub for your hands that makes your hands feel very soft and smooth, and that makes a great gift, especially with Christmas coming up. And let's see, what else? We also have our style box. That is the other thing I want to talk with you about. Who has these monthly subscription boxes that they subscribe to? Anyone? Yes, I have one for my dogs called BarkBox. I have one for makeup called Ipsy. And now I have one for Jamberry. Well, I've had it for a year now, but I absolutely love it. It comes to your house every month, and there are 3, 6, and 12-month subscriptions available, and it comes with exclusive products that nobody else can buy. So that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get started. Please ask me questions anytime. You feel free to look around the products that I have set out at the table here. Ask me questions about the catalog, but that is yours to look through. There's an order form in there. And if you'd like, we can go ahead and get started with a little game. And then after that, we'll get right to doing our application demonstrations. I'll show you how to take them off and put them on, and you'll get a chance to do that as well. Okay, so that is something along the lines of what I would say when I am doing my intro speech. Now, of course, you want to customize this to you and anything like that. I might also throw some things in there about our hostess rewards, and that our hostess is going to be earning lots of free and half-priced items. And you notice when I was talking that you probably heard me throwing in a few of the recruitment type seeds, about I love my job, and sometimes I talk about my kids and being able to stay home with them, or being able to go into the school because I am so flexible, I am my own boss. So you want to try to throw a lot of those types of things in there. Now, as far as the game, I do not like to do a lot of gamey type games. So there's basically 2 sort of games that I do. The first is it's a read aloud points game. It's more of an icebreaker. It really doesn't have too much to do with Jamberry specifically, but it really gets everybody talking and kind of at ease. And sometimes I even do that before I do my little opening talk. But we have that in the files on our page, and it basically talks about, if they're wearing certain colors, or if their hair is blonde, or if their eyes are blue, or if they have girls or boys. But anyway, they get assigned points, and then whoever has the most points can win a prize. And I usually make a twist that whoever has the most points and whoever has the least points wins a prize. Or I might do a questions game where every time that somebody asks me a question, and that can go on throughout the entire party, this is a really good one to do too, they get a little raffle ticket, like something like this. So I hand that to them, and they write their name on that. And then at the end of the party, I would put all of the raffle tickets into a jar and then draw a winner for a prize, or maybe a couple of winners for a prize. Depends on what you're wanting to give away. And you do not have to give away tons and tons of product and tons of stuff. Our product and our rewards are amazing already, but I do like to give a little bit of incentives. And personally, I'm a giver. I just like to give things away. So here's a couple of examples of something that I might give away. I might give away a half sheet of nail wraps. That's good for a whole mani and a pedi. I usually only wear each design one time. I've actually never worn a design more than once. So I always have the other half of my sheet, and I generally use that for prizes. Or I might give away a pedi pack. I always have lots of those since our pedis last so long. It's just the 2 biggest sheets, or 2 biggest wraps from one side. So I might give away one of those. Or I might give away a little pack of application stuff, like the nail prep wipe, the Jamberry nail file, the purple rubber cuticle pusher, and this actually here is a glass nail file. I actually order these in bulk from a company called Blossom Bargains. There's another consultant, a Jamberry consultant that has that owns that company, and she sells a ton of great stuff. So I buy some things like that from her. I love that it's purple, and the glass nail files are really great for getting a nice finish on your nails. So anyway, those are some examples of prizes that I might do, and then I usually have some cute little bags, or a little gift box or something, and I stick those in there. I might also give my hostess a little prize, although I usually give her a hostess packet prior to the party with some information, and that will usually have a little prize in there as well, like usually maybe a half sheet, or sometimes I give her a little 4x6 photo album, and those are perfect size to keep your jams in. And I'll print out a little like a little round circle sticker that just on label paper, on big label paper, and I'll write her name on it and say like Sally's Jamberry Stash, and I might present that to her at the party so that the guests can see, ooh, if I host a party, then I will get to be treated special as well. So there you go. That's another seed planting thought for you. But after the game, then really we get right to doing the samples. That is what most people are there for. They want to see how that works, and then you want to go right to that. So in a little bit, you'll see how I have my sample set up and how I go about doing that. Yes, I think that is it for now. Oh, yes, after that, the last part of the party would be the checkout. And we like to call that a jamboree. We like to call that a full service checkout. So that is when people have made their choices of the products that they want to purchase, and then they come to you so that you can figure out the totals for them. And I always tell them, don't worry about totaling anything up, and that I will take care of that. I'll total it up, I'll add in the tax. And generally for home parties, we usually get free shipping. In the US, it's when the party total is $150 or more. That's when we place a bulk order that goes to one address. Is $150 or more, then it's free shipping. For Australia and New Zealand, the price is a little bit higher, and it just escapes my mind right now what the amount is. So I'm sorry about that, but I can look that up easily for you, and I'm sure you know as well. But there's a free shipping amount for home parties, which is pretty cool that Jamberry does do that. Most other direct sales companies don't have any kind of free shipping options for home parties. There's usually always a shipping charge tagged on, even if the order is going just to the hostess. But anyway, so as they are coming to me with their orders, I like to I look to see what they have gotten. We want to make sure we connect with them. If you remember anything from the beginning when you met them, try to relate back to them, compliment them on what they have chosen, what wraps they have picked out, or give them suggestions. If they only have 2 wraps on the sheet, did you know that if you add a third, then you can get a 4th for free? Let me see, you picked out, out of focus, jaded, or Pixie, whichever one. That would be a perfect complement to that. Would you like to go ahead and add that onto your order? A lot of times people have, just the buy 3, get 1 free deal on there. I always ask them, would you like to go ahead and add on the application kit or the heater? That will make you get a perfect application at home. And a lot of the times they do say yes. If not, no, that's okay too. I always like to ask them if they would be interested in having their own Jamberry party. Never prejudge anybody in regards to if you think that they would make a good hostess or if you think that they would have a good party or not. Also for becoming a consultant, always ask. Ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. So when can we set up your own party? Or I see that you had a really long wish list. Let's turn that into your own party. You can get those for free and half price. When would be a good time for you? A lot of times people then might say, oh, I don't know if I have time. I'm just so busy. Might say something like, well, if you were to have a party, when would be a good time? Would a weeknight or a weekend be better for you? So when you start giving them choices, then a lot of times it's easier for them to sort of pick one of those and fall into that. Also ask them if they might be interested. Was this something that you think you might be interested in doing or earning some extra income? I have an information packet for you. And I usually make up a few opportunity packets that has some information, like our host join brochure, things like that. And I have those on hand with me at parties to give to them. So I love to give those to folks if they might be interested in taking some information home. So I think that is it for home parties. So we basically have our 4 main parts, which is the meet and greet, the opening talk, the demonstrations and samples, and then the full service checkout. So I hope that you have learned some, and stay tuned. I will be showing you how I have my parties set up for the opening meet and greet section and for the demonstration section. Thank you, everyone. Bye. So this is an example of how I might set up the sort of the meet and greet area is what I would call it. When people are first arriving to the party, it's usually in a living room setting, and that is kind of where I put the catalogs and some of the products for the guests to look at. I usually like to do this separate from the sample station, although at some houses that's not possible. So when that's the case, I keep all of my sample stuff in my bag, and then when it's time to do samples, I simply remove all the stuff that you see here and I put out the sample stuff. So that is, sometimes you kind of just have to wing it as you go and make do with the space that you have. But as people come in, of course, you want to do meet and greet with them and talk with them and get to know them a little bit and get them looking at the products right away. A lot of times our hostess will have prepared some food, so the guests will go and get that and sit down and chat for a bit. And then when it's time to get started, sort of look to your hostess for a cue as to when you can get going. So I will usually have all of this stuff out while I am doing my little opening spiel. But just so that you know what everything I have here is, I have catalogs, and I generally give those to people as when they come in and after they find a seat, a catalog and a pen. And in the catalog, in that first page, what I do is I put an order form with all that information. If you want, you can pre-fill out some of the information, like the consultant's name, which would be you, and then your hostess's name. If you're going to be doing any checks or anything, you can write that the checks would need to be made out to you, all that kind of stuff. I've even seen people go through the product name list and make a highlight of every fourth line, because as you know, with the buy wraps, they're buy 3, get 1 free. So highlight and write free on there. So that kind of gets people into the habit of doing the buy 3, get 1 free. And then I have these contact slips that I like for people to fill out. And that tells you how they want to be contacted in the future, and also if they might be interested in doing a party or perhaps even joining your team. And then I actually use this slip also. I tend to use the back of it. I ask them to write their wish list on here, or if we're playing a little game and they're keeping track of some points, I usually have them use the back of this to write those points and stuff on. So I usually hand them that when they come in so that they have something to start looking at right away. The other things on the table here, these are really cool. These are my nail sample sticks. This is not something that Jamberry gives to us or provides to us, but a lot of the times, pretty much at the beginning of every catalog release, a bunch of us consultants will get in on what we call a sample swap, and we will order pretty much all the new designs that are coming out, and somebody coordinates that, and they give you a half of a wrap of each of the new designs. Then you order these little sample sticks and you put them on. But it is really cool because people can see them, and it is really, really nice for them to see. Now, these are not necessary. Don't feel like you are going to be at a disadvantage if you don't have these. It is not a problem. It's something that I did when I first started, and I have I've been keeping it up. So I've got quite a few of them, and I actually have all the new ones that I still need to put on. But anyway, also then I put some of our main products over here. Our heater, of course. This is an application kit with cuticle oil. So whatever you have on hand that are Jamberry products, put those out. This is our Nourish, the lotion, and I used to do the Indulgence hand care set. I have actually run out of it, so it's on order, so I don't have that out right now, but I usually will put that out as well. And this is my style box, so I will, put that out and allow people to look in there. I also like to put out a couple of images, the buy 3, get 1 free, so that people remember that. And this shows you how to break down a sheet of Jamberry nail wrap. So I will usually talk about the sheets and how you do that. And I'll have a couple of examples of sheets, a regular size and a juniors, so that people know what they are getting when they get the sheets. A lot of times they have no clue. They think it's just good for 1 manicure, but it's not. And this is something else that you can order if you like. This is found on in our print shop on your workstation. You can order an inventory album, but you can use any other kind of album for this. I like this just because it has my name on there, and all of the nail wraps fit in here. So if you do any cash and carry and you're wanting to sell wraps on hand, this is a great way to do that, but you do not have to have any inventory at all. In fact, I don't sell very much stuff from here. Most of the time people order from the catalog, but every once in a while there might be one in here that they like, and then I will let them tack that on to their party order. I also use this as a little bit of an informational tool, like I have the what's in a sheet thing in here, putting a thing about hosting a party. That's planting a seed, which is something that you want to do throughout your whole party. This is about joining the starter kit, and about some of the other wraps that I might not have on hand, like our charity wraps. Style box, of course, our different nail wrap finishes, which those are updated now. I need to put some new ones in there. And these are a couple of the camo kind of wraps. They are not in the catalog, so I have printed those out. Mommy and Me. So this is basically can be a place that you can keep all of your inventory for cash and carry, but it can also be somewhat of a recruiting tool because you can be putting information about hosting and joining in here as well. But this is one of those things that's definitely an optional, and it's not something that you need to have. Okay, so that is basically the setup. I would come in and probably stand in front of the table and talk my little opening talk and get to know the guests a little bit. Thank you. Okay, here is how I set up my table for the demonstration section of the home party for when we get to do the samples with all the guests, which is really the most important part of the party because we want to make sure that they have a good experience. So what I do here is I usually set this up at a table. That is generally the best thing to do, but if your hostess does not have a big table, then perhaps she might have a coffee table that everybody can gather around. Just make it work as far as the surroundings that you have. I've had to make do with a lot of different situations, but ideally you have some kind of a table that you can set up all your stuff on for the demonstration part. So I usually like to have 2 heaters. If you are just starting out, then you probably just have 1, and 1 is just fine. That is not a problem at all, but in the future, if you're doing more home parties, I would suggest that you have 2. Also, you'll see over here that I have an extra extension cord. This is a good thing to have in case the plug is not super close or you've got a few people using the heaters. That way you can kind of move them around a lot easier. I have a little picture frame where I have printed out some simple, sorry for the glare there we go, where I have printed out some simple Jamberry application steps. Now what I usually do is I either demonstrate on myself, I do a removal and an application for them so that they can see. So I go to the party with my hands completely done, and then I take one off and put one on. That way they see how both steps of the process go. But I usually have this set up on the table so that if they need to refer to it, they can. And I do the application in either one of 2 ways. Either I do it first on myself, and then they do it and I walk around and help them, or we do it all at exactly the same time and we go through all the steps and then apply all together. That seems to work better when it's a smaller group of people, and then a bigger crowd you can kind of sometimes have to take turns. But what I do here is I make up a little packet for everyone and I put it in the application in the little sleeves that the Jamberry nail wraps come in. If you're brand new, then you probably don't have a ton of these, but you will accumulate tons and tons of them, so don't worry about that. But you don't have to use these. You can put these in little baggies, in little Ziploc bags, or any kind of little cute bags that you might have. And what I put in them, what I like about these, the sleeves, is that the instructions are on the back. And then I have them take this home along with a couple of extra samples so they can practice at home. But in here I put my business card, I put a couple of the alcohol prep pads, and these I just buy at the drugstore, or sometimes I order them in bulk from Amazon. A nail file, I usually get these either at the dollar store or I order them in bulk from Amazon. That's going to be my theme here. And the orange wooden sticks. I don't usually order these from the back office, from home office, because I find that the ones that come from them, they're a little bit longer than I like, and I like these. I order them from Amazon in bulk, and the last that I actually ordered like 1,000 of them, and they were about $24, so I thought that was a good deal. And then I also put in a flosser because that is a great alternate removal method. And if you don't know what that is, we'll let you know some other time in a different video. I actually do have another video for that. But anyway, so these are all the things that I put in here, and then everybody gets one of these packets. I have these cute little bins that I got at the dollar store. So I have all these packets in here, and then after everybody has one, I use this for trash. And everybody can put, if they have cotton balls or paper towels and all that kind of stuff, or the backings from the nail wraps, they can put right in there. And then I have this little tray here, and this is where I usually put all the different samples for them to choose. Then I have a little section with nail clippers and scissors, and some little buffer blocks if anybody wants to buff their nails or anything, although that's not a necessary step. I have been including our gel kit at my home party since I have that, and buffing is a step with that. So that is part of the reason that I have the buffers in there now. I also have a bunch of lacquers that I bring so that they can do their one wrap. I usually just let them do one nail wrap, one on each finger, one on each hand, and then they can paint their nails with the rest of them with the lacquer. And I try to use as many Jamberry products as I can. This is our nail prep cleanser. This is to clean your nail. This is basically the same thing as the alcohol swabs, as the alcohol wipes. So I have these for them in their packets, or they can use mine that I bring. There's also the lacquer remover. If anybody has any polish on, they can take that off, and then I usually just bring an extra big bottle to have that. This is the Jamberry Cuticle Remover Pen. I absolutely love this product, and I like to bring it to parties with me and let people use that if they'd like to use it to soften up their cuticles and push them back. So basically what we do is we sit around the table and do our demonstration. This usually I find takes up most of the party, so I try to get to this as quickly as possible. One other way that you can set it up, and I used to do this when I first started, is by having a tray like this. And I found this tray at our dollar store as well. And it is another really great way to put in all of the products for the application to make it easier. In the middle, it says Try Me. This is where you would put the nail wraps. And there's a little start. I just used a label maker, but you could use a Sharpie and write on here as well. If you wanted to buff your nail first, then you push back your cuticle. So you would put all the little wooden cuticle pushers here. This is wipes, so you would put in your alcohol wipes here. Trim would be your scissors, where you would trim the nail wrap in half. And then here's a little reminder to heat the nail wrap. And then file or clip. So you would put your nail files and your nail clippers in this section. So that's just another little great alternative way to have that set up. I am finding that this is working for me a little bit better than the round circle tray, but a lot of people use that other tray as well. And these little clear things, I think I got at Walmart or something. Okay, so that is basically what I do for the application demonstration part of the party. So thank you. Now I would like to show you what all of the Jamberry stuff fits into. I think it's really awesome that we have such a small product that we do not need to lug around a ton of stuff. And this is really nice for our hostesses and guests to see that we are not carrying tons and tons of inventory around with us wherever we go. Basically, everything that you need to do the party will fit into a bag like this. And this is not a giant bag. Here it is in comparison to my arm. It's only from my fingertips to my elbow. This particular bag is from 31, but Jamberry sells a Jamberry bag in the back workstation that has lots of little pockets like this. And basically everything for the party fits in here. The heater, catalogs, stuff to do the samples, all of that goes in here. This bag has some of my extra inventory and cash and carry extra things that I take with me. But again, just these two bags is not very much stuff.